Hi guys. So my name is Maddie J. I run the podcast called BrainWorks. It has been featured on iTunes as an up and coming podcast recently. Uh, my viewership has been increasing as far as my statistics that I see from hosting it. And I have decided that I am going to expand. It's been running around in my head. I'm going to expand and also videotape while I'm doing my podcast. So it'll be a half podcast, half video blog all in one. So I may not be looking at the camera the whole time. I may be looking at the microphone. I may be looking at the newspaper or looking at the book I'm talking about or whatever it may be. But I've decided I'm going to get into that region. To let you know what it is, BrainWorks is all about the the basis that I started on is BrainWorks. Let's think outside the mind. What I mean by that is I tackle and I talk about current events or relating to politics, social issues, government, and sometimes religion. But mainly it's those first three. Of course, we've talked about in previous podcasts, which I will have a link on this video to. We talked about the debates. We've talked about the candidates. We've talked about social issues. I also write articles. I've written articles about the Supreme Court finally passing same-sex marriage, stuff like that. Right now, the first videos you will see is actually going to be me I am going through Ben Carson's book, A More Perfect Union, looking at what all he says. As far as me, I don't label myself a Democrat. I don't label myself a Republican. I label myself a progressive, which means that I look for candidates and congressmen and senators that have the society that we have right now in 2015, that they are going to progress it further and enhance it and make it better. We are in no way a perfect society. We are in no way a utopian society, and I don't think, personally in my belief, I don't think you can ever get to that point. But we can get to a point in that direction. Luckily, we've seen it. You can disagree with me, but I can rattle off facts. We've seen in the past 7 years what was a close to economical disaster, which experts said, could have been 3 to 4 times worse than the Great Depression. They were saying that it could have been easily 50 to 60 to even 70% unemployment rate. But luckily, we had a president that did what he should do, which was have the government fund these, fund the banks and fund the corporations, even though they had made stupid moves to keep the economy going. We've seen unemployment drop. We've seen the stock market rise again. And I know there's doomsdayers out there saying, oh, it's going to crash again. Well, they've been saying that since 1929. So until I see it, then I'll believe it. But right now, I can only go off what facts are, and I am a fact person. And that is our economy is stronger. It's not perfect, but our economy is stronger. Our unemployment rate is down. We still need to work on our poverty level. That is a huge thing for me. Is I think that the poverty level is unacceptable for our country. And then we will be talking about things relating to the upcoming elections. But yeah, that's kind of a little bit about me. I'm very open-minded. Sometimes I may seem like I'm not, but I am. You can ask my wife. I will be watching MSNBC, and then I will flip over to Fox News, and then I will go from thinkprogress.com to the Drudge Report. I get information from all different sources. I basically cut them down and get down to, okay, what is fact, what is going on, and here's my opinion. And my opinion is based on four things, four principles. Is it logical? That's number one. I think that's most important. We have a lot of illogical ideologies swirling around, especially right now in the elections. It has to be logical. Is it ethical? That in itself states, is it an ethical move for the greater good of society? Is it moral? A lot of people combine ethical and moral. I split them apart. Moral, I mean, does it infringe upon someone else's ethical standard? I know I'm getting into some philosophical discussions, but I will explain it as we go along. And number four, can I, as an American citizen that wants to see my country grow, can I agree with it? That's the four things I base my opinions off of. There are some things I am open and I say, I see it from both ways. I see both angles. There are other subjects, and I will give a prime example. Same-sex marriage. There's only one answer, and that is what the Supreme Court ruled on June 28th, which was those couples should have the same rights as heterosexual married couples. And I know people go, Constitution, no, don't even pull that out with me. A woman and a woman getting married does not subdue your constitutional right to practice your faith. No one is chaining you down, making you go to the wedding and wave a flag that says, yay. No. You can still build your church anywhere. You can go on the street. You can take your Bible anywhere. You can do anything you want to do. Tax-free, too, if you build church. So there is no argument of it's infringing on your constitutional rights. Because the twist of that is, for you to say that is to say that those two people's constitutional rights should be subdued. So you can't do that. See? Logic. Double negative. Didn't happen. So, but I will say, even though I just got, as you can see, I'm hard-headed, I will gladly, respectfully, and I think that is the most important part, I will gladly and respectfully speak to anyone with an opposing viewpoint. That viewpoint I will not change on, because I've broken it down as far as it can go, and there's no reason that a country under a secular constitution would have an issue. Now, will I discuss it with you? Absolutely. I think that is one aspect right now in our society, right now, literally today, that is not happening, is people are not talking anymore. They are not having discourse. They are not writing articles and letters to each other. They're either screaming out Facebook posts or tweeting ugly things. And that's not going to get us anywhere. If you notice, I'm sitting here talking to you. Even though I'm not with you, I'm talking to you. And I would talk to you and say, okay, you have that opinion, but let's look at it from this perspective. Look at it from if you were this person. Look at it from this. And a lot of people say, well, that's relativism. Again, I'm sorry. Just so you know, I have a bachelor's in psychology and a minor in philosophy from Texas A&M University. Whoop! I just got accepted to UNT. I will be getting my second bachelor's in philosophy by the spring of 2017, and then I will be entering the master's PhD program for philosophy as well. So you're going to hear some philosophy terms, and when I say them, I will explain them. People say it's relativism. It's not relativism. Relativism, you never make a final decision. I make a final decision. So I think that's enough of me rambling. This is just an intro video. The rest of the videos, I'm not going to make personal vlogs. I call them vlogs, video blogs, vlogs, unless I feel it completely necessary. Other than that, it's literally going to be the camera here. I'll have my mic set up, and I'll be doing the podcast and then posting the podcast as well as the YouTube video with the podcast linked. So I hope you guys enjoy. Feel free to email me, add me on Twitter. Email is BrainWorks, BrainWorks, pod, P-O-D, and the letter C, @gmail. Tweet me, same thing. BrainWorkspodc, with an @ symbol in the front. So again, I'm Matty J. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get something out of it. Hopefully somebody will watch, or nobody will watch. Nonetheless, who knows? You may learn something, or, as I say, I want to make you think. If you're thinking, your mind's working. If your mind's working, you ain't dead. Have a good one, guys. Bye.